Yeah.
What's up?
Good.
Nice to see you again.
Yep.
Okay, now Sandtrap.
Sandtrap.
Tell me about this one.
This is an IPA.
This is one of your best sellers, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
We speak of an IPA.
Yeah.
We speak of a hoppy beer.
Okay.
So we expect a lot of hops in Sandtrap.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, but looking at this one, being a strong IPA,
Yeah.
it's also very juicy.
Okay.
It's one of the juiciest beers we have in Italy.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
So you're gonna enjoy drinking this one.
Let's have a taste.
I'm sure.
Nice. Can you do the honors?
Yep.
Oh yeah. I like the color. Yeah, it's like it doesn't look like it's gonna be a dark full flavor,
Yeah.
but it is, isn't it? Okay. I'm excited about this. Let me have a look at the label.
Yeah.
Hoppy, juicy, and luscious. I like that word.
Also very like
That's why I
fun,
describe my hair. Luscious.
Yes.
Cheers. Oh my god, I know exactly what to do with this.
Yeah.
When I was menu planning it, I knew it. I am going to do what's called a fondue. So in Europe, they like that they do this thing called fondue, and it's kind of for like winter nights.
Okay.
And they take cheese and wine, melt it together, and then you dip like crusty bread.
Yeah.
But for this, I'm going to do it a little bit more Kenya style.
Yeah.
I'm going to use some nice pili flavors.
Pili with the hearts.
Yes,
That's
it's
good.
really good, and beer instead of wine.
Yeah.
And then I'm going to make this really nice, like cheesy dipping sauce
Yeah.
with this really nice sharp cheddar. I think it's going to be fantastic.
Sure.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Nice to see you again, bro. That's good. I like that. Okay, so today we are going to make a delicious Swahili-inspired pili fondue. Winter is coming, so let's warm up. We need to warm up our bones with this. I've got some nice crusty loaf that I made the other day that I'm going to cut into nice kind of crouton-sized cubes. We have our lovely cheese here that we got from the guys at Sirimon, and it's a really nice mature cheddar. It's from the reserve cellar. And it's got a really, really intense depth of flavor. I love it, and it melts beautifully. So we're gonna be working with this today, and I've already got some grated, as you can see. So I'll talk you through the basics of this recipe. Over here, we have our salad master. Just gonna warm up this pan, and as it comes to temperature, I am gonna get some butter in there, which I've already softened. And I crushed some garlic, easy does it. Take a clove, hit it with the back of a knife, and you've got crushed garlic. I am going to melt the butter with the garlic, and then I'm going to remove the garlic so it's not overwhelming, but it will sit nice and softly on your palate. And then the fondue is going to be made with this beer today. It's a Sandtrap. It's an IPA. It's delicious. I love it. It's actually one of the best sellers. It's got really nice hoppy, juicy flavors, and that's going to really lift the cheese. So we are going to start with our pan. I've got some butter. That's going to go. That's about 2 tablespoons, maybe a bit more. Been in the wars today, by the way. You can see I've cut myself up. The butter is going to melt with this garlic. I've got quite a lot of garlic in here. It's about 5 cloves. I'm a garlic lover, and that's just going to flavor the butter. We're going to take it out of the butter before we add the flour, which is just that's going to make a roux, and then the roux will be distilled and diluted by the beer and the cheese, and then we hit it with the bread, and we have a fondue. Very simple, very delicious. We're going to switch it up today with some nice local Kenyan pili and some paprika and some cayenne pepper, just for a little bit of lift. I like my food spicy. You can do it to taste. Okay. Woo. So over here, in my salad master, which is salad master is just a really lovely heavy bottomed pan, just so that the cheese doesn't burn. I have got my melted butter. I'm going to go in with the garlic and just give that a good whiz. And just let it flavor. Okay, so with the fondue, to achieve the thickness that we want, you need to add some flour. I've got about 4 cups of cheese here, so I'm going to use about 3 tablespoons of flour. If it doesn't thicken, I'll add another one. But to start off with, I'm going to put 1 tablespoon of flour into the butter. That's going to combine, it's going to thicken, and then we'll loosen it up again. Okay, that butter's starting to brown, so I'm just going to remove it from the heat. You can smell that the oil's been really nicely flavored. So out comes the garlic. And in goes a tablespoon of flour. So that's going back on the heat. Okay, so that butter is looking really nice and frothy. There's a little bit of flour in there just to help everything come together. So I'm using 1.5 of these Sandtraps. That's about 18 fluid ounces. And that's a good sign. We want to burn off some of that beer flavor and reduce it down slightly. And then in with the cheese. Okay, so the beer and the butter and a little bit of flour is coming together nicely. I'm going to add my 2nd tablespoon of flour now into that mixture. And you want to get quick on the mixing so you don't have lumps. So now I'm going to go in with the cheese. There's about 4 cups of sharp, mature cheddar here. Straight into there. It's all incorporating beautifully. That cheese is melting. We've got a really nice color on that. So just to recap, we have 4 cups of sharp cheddar that went in there from Sirimon. Lovely stuff. 4 tablespoons of flour and our lovely Sandtrap. We have this lovely Kenyan chili. It's got a really nice fruity roundness that's going to work with the kind of the juicy hop of this IPA. So I'm just going to finely dice it, and then I'm going to add it to our fondue, which now needs a little bit more liquid, which is great. So we're going to take another half bottle of this Sandtrap and add it to the fondue just to loosen it up. And you can see separates at first, but it will come together, which it is doing beautifully. And okay, so I made this sourdough the other day, basic sourdough recipe. You can find it on the TheFatChap website, which is NAIROBI.com. And I am just going to cut this into cubes, and then I'm going to call the guys to come and taste this. Are you ready? Yeah. Okay, 5 minutes. I'm just going to, okay. Okay, so simple. A kind of crusty stale loaf, rough cuts, nothing too precious. And there's how many of us? Yeah, I'm going to do a whole loaf. Yo, I got to give a massive shout out to my mate, the G Word, at theg.word on Instagram. He makes these amazing, beautiful wooden kitchenware. Like, look at this. It's really beautiful stuff. Okay, that lovely sourdough, as you can see, has been diced. And if you want to make this at home, I would suggest using this Sirimon cheese. It's really good. It's a really mature cheddar, and actually in the Kenyan market, I think it's actually got the best depth of flavor for something like a fondue, which really needs to carry the beer. Okay, so for this, I've gone with some crusty bread. I'm gonna serve it up. Some of these guys here at the brewery are gonna taste it. But you can serve this with, fresh cut veg. Broccoli is really nice in there, or you can use a nice cooked whole ham. But yeah, for this one, we're gonna go with this nice crusty bread. And I am gonna serve it up. Here is our lovely fondue. You can see that lovely chili running through there. And in here, we have our crusty bread. And I've called over some of my mates from 254 to come and taste this with me. We also have our Sandtrap here, which is what we use in the beer. Sheila.
Yeah.
Let me know your thoughts on what you think.
First, Sandtrap is my favorite 254 beer.
Okay, let me know what you think.
Ooh. Okay, put the bread down.
Yeah, put the bread down. Okay, let me know what you think. Are you excited?
I'm nervous.
You're not, don't be nervous. It's good.
You say it's punchy.
It's punchy, but you're punchy, babe. Okay? It's good, right? It starts a little sour, but then it kind of pulls all the sweetness of the cheese, the sharpness, the richness, and then have a sip of beer. Because you just see if it pulls through, because that's when I round it all out. Yeah? I'm so glad that you're happy with that. I am going to clean up my station. Thank you. This has been awesome.